All right, testing. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Hopefully it is working. Yes. Okay. Hello. Happy Friday. Happy Friday night. Shout out to everyone who immediately joined the stream from the top. We've got Know It So. We've got Krista De Roquez. I'm gonna butcher some of these names. Sorry, y'all. M Toy Boy, Seba, Rogue, Wayward, Fibo TV, Pig Beef, Blader Zen, and Jose, and Eben, Japan. Awesome. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. Hopefully, greetings from Chile, Mr. You Mad Bro. What's up, dude? All right, let's see. Getting Scorpio Sphere, Pegasus, blah, 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 Shark Scale, Sever, is that a good deal? Yeah, I mean, Shark Scale is pretty hard to find, and it's really, those are all really good parts. Scorpio Spear, Pegasus, Wolf Hunt, all that, so that's good. Nice. Okay. Want to have a Discord call? If you couldn't tell, I get really distracted really easily, so I'm not gonna get in a Discord call right now. But I did do a lot of research and talk to some other folks today too about balance tuning stuff. So you'll be able to see the fruits of my labor. But yeah, I just I wanted to give balance tuning a shot, give it, a good solid shake. I'm learning a lot, and I think it can be really, really valuable. Especially, so here's my thinking and my theory behind it. When you're in a tournament, tell me if this has ever happened to y'all. You're in a tournament, you're playing against, you're in top cut, you're doing really well, and you're playing against other people who are running very similar meta level combos. Maybe you get a Rod 160 Hexa mirror, or some other stamina combos or whatever, where it comes down to the very last spin finish, final seconds, you're barely spinning, they're barely spinning, it's extremely close, one or the other. That's where I think balance tuning can make the biggest difference, is because if you are that close to winning and you had just balance tuned a little bit to get a couple of extra seconds out of your spin on average, that could be the difference maker. Now, it's not going to be the one thing that makes you start winning, infinite all the time, but in theory, I think that there's quite a bit of value there for the most skilled bladers playing against other extremely skilled bladers in relatively comparable matchups. So that's what sort of I've been thinking about, and I'm probably going to make a video on it, because what I discovered was that there's really no video on balance tuning for Beyblade X, at least in English. I did find a really good one that was in Spanish, but YouTube's auto dubbing is kind of garbage. So there's really no good video on it. So I think I want to make a video on this. I've been diving into it a lot this week. I also made a spreadsheet, which I'll show off on the stream, but it's also publicly available. So you guys can check it out and actually watch my progress live, and even copy and steal the spreadsheet to use it for yourself in your own balance tuning. I'll be talking about that a lot more when I make the actual video on this for a full in-depth guide. But things take time, and I know everyone wants to be doing better as soon as possible. So since you're in the stream, you don't have to wait for the video. We're just going to talk about it now, and then you can catch up on the video later. I've been testing 180 on a lot of combos. Just wondering if you had any insight on the ratchet, its potential pros can outshine the obvious con of its height. Holy Goose, what's up? Welcome to the stream. In terms of 180, I would say it's extremely niche in its usage. I would recommend 170 over 180, unless you particularly want to use 180. Like, I heard of someone use like a 160, 170, 180 deck, which I think is really fun. But yeah, 180 at that point is just probably too tall to do anything super meaningfully competitive. But hey, if you like it, more power to you. I would just say any combo that benefits from a one-sided ratchet, and any blade that benefits from down smashing. So like, off the top of my head, Tyranno Beat. Honestly, Soul Eclipse, which is already pretty tall, but has a down smashing mode. Worth a try on that as well if you really want to use 180, but I would try 170 over 180. Let's see. Can you explain the balance tuning? I think I know what it is. Yeah, so I'm going to talk about balance tuning. And Pig Beef knows a lot about it. Pig Beef constantly is talking about it in the SoCal Beyblade Discord. So I'm going to explain it in a moment. Give me just 1 second, guys. My wife is leaving for an event tonight, and I want to go say goodbye. So I will be right back. Just give me 1 second. All right, I'm back. Also, what's up, Benny? Thanks for coming in, joining the stream. All right. Let's see. So I am gonna try my best to explain balance tuning from what I've learned. I'm gonna switch my camera view really quick. Okay. I got a nice little stadium set up here. So here's what we're gonna do. Actually, I'm going to keep that set up there. I'm just going to go back to this one. There we go. Okay. So if you want to run a particular combo, right? This right here, which is what we're focusing on today, Wizard Rod, 660 kick. I experimented with it this week. It worked pretty well. Let's say you have a specific combo you want to run, but you have 3 different kicks and 3 different 660s and 2 different Wizard Rods. Bye, I love you. I was leaving, sorry. So how do you know, of all these parts, if you want to use that specific combo, which of these to use? Doesn't matter. You have a couple options. First option is to just absolutely aura farm and make the most visually pleasing combo you can make. You could go with green rod, blue and white kick. Honestly, wish they had a green kick. They don't. You could go, honestly, full ketchup and mustard with yellow rod and red 660 and yellow kick. Or you could watch the best Baytuber known to man, who also is named Anti-Wizard Wizard Club. Anti-Wizard Wizard Club. I put myself in my own category there, in case that wasn't clear. And you can learn about balance tuning. So what you want to do is you want to figure out which of your parts, because quality control from Hasbro and Takara Tomy is not the best, which of your parts are going to give you the most stamina, aka they're the most balanced when they're spinning, when put together. So because there's tiny little differences in the manufacturing of some parts, the weight might be, even just by tiny, like not normally comprehensible amounts, the weight might be differently distributed for different physical individual blades. Like this one might be more balanced than this one, vice versa, or whatever. Or that's not a good example. Ratchet's a better example. This one might be heavier on one side than the other one, so on and so forth. It's a good idea to balance tune, because here's what's going to happen. Let's say you're going against a mirror. Thank you for the sub. Penya Hat? I think that's what your name is. Let's say you're going against a mirror, and even if it's not 660 kick, because I know that's kind of a niche combo. Let's say it's a 160 hexa, right? Rod 160 hexa mirrors happen all the time. If you're balance tuned and your opponent is not, and you launch with comparable launch strength, or even maybe a little bit weaker than theirs, you have a greater chance of coming out on top. And at the highest levels of play, that's going to happen more and more often. You know, in Swiss, anything can happen. You might get randoms here and there, you know, running very odd combos. But even then, balance tuning can still help, because it's going to help you bring out in a vacuum the greatest performance from your combo. So, all that being said, the TLDR explanation is that balance tuning is finding the specific individual parts that you own for a particular combo that are going to be the most balanced, therefore spin the longest when all else is equal. So with all of that being said, I want to practice and understand and sort of help other people practice and understand what balance tuning is, because it's kind of scary sounding at first. It sounds like a pretty complicated endeavor, but it's really not that hard. So what you're going to want to do is have your parts, and we're actually going to be using a marker. So I've got just like a pink marker here. It doesn't matter. And you're going to be marking your parts in very small legal ways. I want to clarify and be clear that I actually talked today and directly confirmed, as well as checked the rulebook with staff at WBO, and also checked the official B4 rules. There are particular areas of Beyblade parts that you are allowed to mark and still legally use. So this example, this is the one I've been testing today so far. Let's see if we can get it to focus. It is 660, and it's really hard to see, but you can almost kind of see. Maybe it'll focus, maybe not. One of those screws I colored in with that pink marker. There we go. See how I colored in that screw? So that is going to help me determine orientation when I'm building this blade. Because if you have your pink screw, you know, your ratchet can only go two ways. It can go pink screw if like we're keeping the blade stable right here, pink screw on top, or you can flip it over and have pink screw on the bottom. Your ratchet can only go two ways. So you can start your testing with that variable. Does it balance when all else is equal? Does it balance better when that colored screw is on top, or when that colored screw is on the bottom? And you can also mark your blade. Now, I haven't marked this blade, but you're allowed to mark your blade in very specific areas. You cannot mark inside here where the ratchet touches, but like the very outer rims where the ratchet is not touching, and like the screws itself, really the screws are probably the safest. Those are areas you can mark. So that's very safe to mark. It's really easy. So then you can like mark one part of your blade, mark a part of your ratchet, so that way you have the correct orientation every single time, right? Oops, dropped it. But that's only two parts of the equation. You have your bit as well. So let's see if I can do this. No, that's not really gonna work. Here, I'll do this, I guess. Okay, so you have your bit, and you see at the very top of the bit, I marked there. Now, the focus is weird, so you're probably not gonna be able to actually see what I've written on it. Oh, there we go. Okay, so it's not very legible, to be honest, but I did a 1, and then I tried to do a 5. The reason I did that is because every bit in the game, let me see if I can do this better. Every bit in the game, you see right here above the part that it kind of sits on the ratchet, this area right here, that the tip of my fingernail is touching, that area right there. Again, where the tip of my fingernail is touching. God, focus is hard with these webcams, dude. That area right above where the thing touches, there are always 8 little grooves. You can even, like, while you're watching this stream, grab any bit, every single Beyblade X bit. You can look at it. There's 8 little grooves around here. They almost look like peaks, right? It has 8 of those peaks. And what I've done for this, and what you can do with all your bits, is on the top. That's the only legal part you can color on in a bit. But on the top, I've done a 1 for the first groove, and then I've done a 5 for the second groove. That's either side, right? And you can, if you want to, label all of these sides if you have, you know, good enough penmanship to do that. You do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So then when you have your blade, your ratchet, and your bit, and the bit has like a part marked off, and then a screw colored in, you can every single time correctly align your ratchet and your bit. So I'm going to show you how I do that now. Let's see if I can tilt my camera a little bit. So if I want to align these with the testing that's worked for me, which let me pop out my chat really quick so I can open that other tab. 1 second. Okay. Here we go. So I've been doing some testing today, and so far I've only tested 2 different orientations, but with this combo, I have found that with this Wizard Rod blade, now I'll catch up on chat in a second. I just get really easily distracted and I wanted to explain this correctly. So with this Wizard Rod blade, I want to take the pink screw side with the where the 3 prongs on the 660 for the pink screw side. So that's these 3, since that's the pink screw. These 3 prongs are going towards the 2 screw side of underneath Wizard Rod. So Wizard Rod has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws. I'm going to put this in. You'll notice, and this is just the way I'm tracking it. You can track it any way you want because I didn't mark this Wizard Rod. But you notice that this is the pink side. 1, 2, 3 of the 660 are going to the 1 and the 2 screw of Wizard Rod. So this side, this top part of Wizard Rod has 2 screws. The bottom part, you can see, has 1, 2, 3 screws. And then again, that's my pink colored screw is right here on there, and it's going towards the side with 2. So the pink screws here, 2 up there. That's pretty basic. It makes sense. I'm just trying to explain in a way that makes sense when you're dealing with the camera and doesn't focus. So then I have my bit right with the 1. So I have the 1. It's on top right now. I'm going to align that 1 with the pink screw. So I just double check the pink screw is here where my pointer finger is right now. I've got the 1, which is the top part of the bit right now, and I'm going to align that there. So this alignment specifically, this alignment of this ratchet and this kick bit is what has worked very slightly, but so far in my testing, to have the highest average spin speed. Now we're going to talk about spin speed in a second, but I'm going to catch up on chat first. Hey dude, Wolf and McFly, what's up dude? Viva la Mexico, what's up man? Thanks for joining in. I don't speak Spanish well, but DKRYDK alphabet soup, thank you for watching. Grabs free ball. Hey, free ball is a great bit. The bits spin when they hit the rail, so how much does that even matter in the end? It matters to an extent. To Pigbeef's point, it's the time they spent before rails. I will say that balancing the ratchet, I think, is, in my opinion, more important than balancing the bit. But, you know, your mileage may vary. Also, keep in mind, the entirety of balance tuning is for sure like almost the definition of min-maxing. So like, you're not necessarily like, it's not, again, you're not going to see like insane turnaround in your performance by balance tuning, but you know, it can make a difference. What's up, Hollow Harlem? Thanks for joining the stream. Appreciate it. But yeah, with that being said, I was talking about spin speed, right? So when you are balance tuning, you want to make sure that as much of your variables are consistent as possible. So when you're launching, let me switch my camera view. When you're launching, right, you don't want to be absolutely ripping it, going crazy, you know. That's not useful. That's not useful for you or me. It's satisfying because Beyblade go burr, but it's not useful. You want to have as much of your test launches as consistent as possible. So the way I'm doing this, and the way I'm going to explain in the video that I make, is basically for an individual combo that I'm testing. So not specifically this 660, but just Wizard Rod 660 kick with all my 660s, all my kicks, all my Wizard Rods. You want to pick how many times you want to extreme dash. So for me, I just picked 1 time, and every single time you launch, you want to do 1 extreme dash or whatever you're going to do. It could be 0 extreme dashes. It could be 2, 3, whatever. I would recommend 0 or 1. In hindsight, I kind of wish I did 0, but because extreme dashes take a bunch of your stamina, you want to keep that element consistent every time, and then try your best to launch at the same speed. By also, I flat launch, so I'll flat launch very lightly, get one. It's not even like a full X dash. It's just like a launch off the X rail from this area, right? Just one to keep it consistent. And then that's how you move on, you know, keep things as consistent as possible. Ideally, you would have like some contraption that I've seen on Twitter that, give me 1 second. Thought I had a home intruder. It was in fact just my wife who's waiting for an Uber. Anyways. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So you want to just launch extremely consistently. There's a guy on Twitter that has a whole machine that launches the exact same speed. It's really cool, but I'm not him, I guess. Literally. So if you're launching at the same speed, you are getting the same amount of X dashes every single time. That's going to really help keep as much of this consistent as possible. Use a bearing like they do in Japan. I've read about that. I haven't really seen too much on it though, so I'm not going to make a comment yet. I'll look into it before I finish making my video, but yeah, you know, it's also like at some point you got to decide like how much is too much, like how insane do you really want to go with this? You know what I mean? But yeah, so you'd be doing your test launches, recording your results, right? The way I'm doing this too, there might be a better way of doing it, but I am using a timer, and then what I've been doing for my launches is, oopsies. I'm starting the timer, and I'm launching at 5 seconds on the timer because I want to launch at the exact same time, and I don't want to be like rushing to launch and hitting the thing. So I hit the thing. You can see it. Wait till 2, 3, 4, 5, and I launch. And see, this one I wouldn't count, right? Because I've been doing 1 X dash on all of these, and that was like multiple times it's come off the rail. So that one I wouldn't count. I would just grab. It would not go in my data set. So then in that case, I would stop, reset, start here. All right, let's see if this X dashes. All right, that was 1 X dash. All right, that was 2. Unfortunately, I would not count that. You start to really get like the intricacies of how hard you need to launch to keep it consistent the more you do it in like a given session. But that probably was too hard. Yeah, see, too hard. But I think this time it'll be good. Gotta lock in. All right, I think this one will be good. Oh, no, it went twice. I wanted to like catch on that inner circle of the stadium, because then it stops it from hitting the X rail. That was probably too hard. Yeah. All right, this time it's it. This time it's it. See, it's harder than it looks. Or all right, now I just needed to X dash once. This one might have been too soft. Might have overcorrected there. Why is the bay spinning the wrong direction? Oh, the camera might be flipped. I think I can fix that. Hold on a second. Mirror. There should be a mirror option. Flip vertically? Nope, I did that wrong. Transform, flip horizontally. There we go. Oh, hello. Wolfen McFly's become a member. Thank you for joining, dude. I appreciate that. VIP, too. Appreciate that. All right, let me catch up on chat. Sorry. Is the Wizard Rod spinning left? Yes, I actually have hacked Wizard Rod to be left spin. No, I just fixed the camera. It should be good now. Let me just do a test launch just to make sure. Yeah. There we go. All right. I wish I had a left spin Wizard Rod. That would be insane. Fizzler overcome Clock Mirage, they don't tune well. Camera's good now, perfect. Hello, this is Dratini from Discord. What's up? Hello, Dratini. Just use a string launcher. Pigbeef, why is string better? I'll try a string launcher. Let me see if I can grab one from someone. Oh wait, yo. Perfect opportunity to use this, which I've never used before. The motherfucking Keyblade. Oh, my voice? Oh, no, it's because I have... It's probably my microphone, to be honest. Yeah. This is my, testing launcher. Alright, wait. We gotta see if this is viable or not. Muffin Mage, shout out to Muffin Mage in the Midwest Discord who 3D printed this for me. Alright. 2, 3, 4. I mean, I think I'm going to deal with the same problem as I had with Winder. It's just going to be a different launcher that I'm not as used to using. Because that one didn't X-Dash. I mean, I'll try it again. This is hilarious. Okay. Just because it worked fine that time doesn't mean that it's gonna work fine every time. This is hilarious to me. Let me just set that right there. It's so precarious. It could fall in and also I didn't reset the timer, so that one doesn't matter anyway. So, what we're gonna do is my next, actually, I'll show you guys my balance tuning right now. My spreadsheet, rather. Let me do that. Okay, give me 1 second. Because there's going to be a lot to go over here. Let's do this. Let's do this, that. This one? No, this one. And then this. Okay. Okay, a little bit janky, actually. Let me fix that really quick. This. No, this. Supposed to be like that? Sorry guys, I'm trying to fix my little window frame thingy-majig. I think that's good. Okay, that's good enough. So, you're gonna show you this is not torque that you need for the string at speed. That's true. Yeah, the Keyblade launcher is not excellent for competitive use, but I digress. So, this is the spreadsheet that I built today, and everyone has full access to this. The same link that the my competitive log is in. So I can put this in the chat in a moment. I'll do it after I showcase it. But this spreadsheet, it's got 3 tabs for balance tuning. It's the log, the results, and then the list of top balance tuned combos. So we'll walk through this step by step. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to fill out these columns here, columns A through H. So that's your blade name and then whatever identifier it is, because again, you want to test, individual parts, even if the parts are identical, because different parts are, have different QC, quality control, that kind of thing. Then you have your ratchet and the same thing, an identifier And then the orientation of the ratchet, which again, you'll use like a marker or something to mark a side of the ratchet. One or the other. There's only 2 orientations. Then you have your bit, and then the identifier, so which type it is, bit it is, what color, and then the orientation that you're testing in this case. So let's do this together. We're going to be testing Wizard Rod. We're going to be testing the same Wizard Rod that I've been testing, this green one. So it's my green Wizard Rod, and it has my Anti-Wizard Wizard Club sticker. Shameless plug, you can get these stickers at my shop, awwc-shop.fourthwall.com. You can get your own stickers for all your blades. It's very sick. And the shameless plug, thank you. Oh, what's up, Nuck? Thanks for coming in, man. Oh, you got your AWWC hoodie? Oh, that's sick, dude. Omega Kimchi. Thanks for the support, man. Merch is like genuinely the best way you could support a channel. Like not just mine, any channel. It's just such a direct way to support a creator. So whether it's me or your other favorite creators, definitely consider merchandise. But I digress. So we're testing my green Wizard Rod with the AWWC sticker. Now we're going to test 660. And this time, we're going to test a different 660. So I was testing my blue and black 660. This time, I'm going to test my red. I thought it was black. It actually looks kind of blue. It is like a really dark blue now that I look at it. We'll do red outer, blue inner 660. So red outer / blue inner 660. And we're also going to color in one of the underside screws, because again, we want to be able to tell, what orientation it's going to be. So I'm going to do that now. Not mess this up. Okay. Perfect. So you can see now that one of the screws is colored in. So again, that's going to help us determine which orientation the ratchet is in when we're doing our testing. So one underside screw is pink. For this part, I should make this actually frozen. Let me do that really quick. Freeze. Row 1. There we go. So for this, that is the identifier. The orientation that we're going to test first is, there's really, again, only 2 sides of the same rod. So we'll just test the first one we did before, which the explanation is the pink screw of the pink screw side of the 3 prongs, because it's a 660. So 1, 2, 3. The pink screw side is going to be towards the 3 screw side underneath rod. So rod has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws. The pink screw side of the 3 prongs, 1, 2, 3, which is these top 3 prongs, is going to be towards the 3 screw side of rod. So if we do that, I've put it on that way. Now you can see this top part of the 660, that's the pink screw, and it's 1, 2, 3. And you can see kind of, let me switch the view because, I don't know why I'm doing it this way. It's so much harder. There you go. You can see this top part where the pink screw is. There's 3 screws from Wizard Rod. Those 3 prongs are aligned. So that, again, I know I'm over explaining, but I want to make sure you understand that I'm not just talking nonsense, but it is actually like, what you're supposed to be looking at. So now we've got the orientation of the ratchet set. Now we're going to pick our bit, which again, we're testing kick. I'm going to keep the same exact white kick because I don't want to change too many variables. You want, one variable and the rest controls. So we're going to do the white kick with the 1 and 5 marking on it. And then we're going to have the 1 towards the pink ratchet screw. So my pink ratchet screw is here. I'm going to put the 1, which is the top part of this bit, towards the pink ratchet screw. I've already forgotten where it is. There we go. Towards the pink ratchet screw. Okay. So now this version of rod is built with my red and dark blue 660 with the white kick in the same orientation that I had it. So now I've been doing 10 tests. So we're going to do, is that 10? That's 12. We're going to do 10 tests of rod in that orientation with those specific parts. We're going to soft launch flat. And this time I'm going to try for, just to make it easier on myself, I'm going to go for 0 X dashes on, actually, no, I do have to go for 1 because otherwise it's not going to be comparable. Don't do this to yourself. Just make it 0 X dashes. Soft launch, don't X dash, because now every time I launch with this, any wizard rod on any 660 on any kick, I have to get at least 1 X dash, which makes it harder for yourself. But now we're going to explain this part. Okay, so this right side of the balance tuning log, right? What you've got here is your test launch ID, which is just saying what test number for that specific set of unique parts. So that specific red and dark blue 660, that specific white kick, that specific green rod. This is the first test using those specific parts in that specific orientation. So that screw is facing that specific part of wizard rod on the 660, because if I flipped the 660, it would be a different, technically unique combination of parts. That would be a different new set of test IDs. So this is the first test ID. The launch power, if you're going soft launch, full launch, I'm pretty much only soft launching. Flat or tilt launch, I'm only flat launching, again for consistency. I'm going for 1 X dash. They've all been 1 X dash to, you know, have similarity. And then once you finish a test launch, you're going to put in your spin minutes and spin seconds, which will populate the spin speed length in seconds only. So let's say it spun for 1 minute and 30 seconds. You see that that updated to 90 seconds. So that is how the test log works. So can I try wizard rod on operate? I can. Not right now though, because I'm doing balance tuning stuff right now. But that's the gist of how we're going to log it. And then when it's logged, you have the results page. So the results page is going to show the same information, but only the unique combinations. So I had, through all of those tests, like I explained, I've tested the same wizard rod with the same kick, but the blue and black 660, I tested both orientations. You can see here, it's very hard to tell, but these first 10 tests were the pink screw on the 3 side screw side of rod, and then I did the pink screw on the 2 screw side of rod. So those are 2 different unique combos with the results here. Those specific combos of wizard rod on 660 kick, the one that had the pink screw facing the 2 screw side of rod had slightly longer average spin speed length at 86.3 seconds versus 85.2 seconds. Now, I will say that I've only done 10 launches. That, like, earlier when I was doing this, the difference was a lot more. It was like probably a 15+ second difference, and I did more and it kind of balanced out. I think that this could change pretty dramatically by changing my ratchet, but we'll see. This is what the testing is for. So then it ranks that specific combo on its balance based on the average spin speed length. So because this one spun for longer, it's rank number 1 for that combo. Because this one spun for shorter, it's rank number 2. So let me go here. If you want to look at the combo performance lookup by part, you can select, and it's a little bit janky right now because I don't have too much data in here, but you can select a specific blade, a specific ratchet, and a specific bit, and you can see it'll auto-populate once you select those parts the spin speed length that was the longest and the balance rank. So this one is not working right now. I'm still working on the spreadsheet, so bear in mind, but that's the intent of the spreadsheet. And then if you're like, hey, what's just like the best combo in terms of spin speed length for a specific blade? Here, you could just select a specific blade, and what it should be doing is filling out all of these with the ratchet and bit. It will tell you what ratchet and bit to use, again, based on the data that you've input into the results, and fill it out, and it'll be great. And then the last one is just your list of balance-tuned combos. It's just every combo you've ever tested, sorted in descending order by the average spin speed length. Whew. That is a lot. I fully realize that. I probably shouldn't have tried to explain it in that level of detail here, but that's the gist of what I've been able to come up with. So hopefully that's a little helpful. With that being said, I'm going to test this red and dark blue 660 and record the results and see how things go. So let's do that. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go to my testing log. Here we go. I'm gonna launch all these as soft, flat, 1 extreme dash launches. And then we're gonna fill in the spin speed seconds and away we go. So let me change the view to this. Okay, cool. Good morning, Amon the Blader. This is man glad this is into it. Yeah, I just want it to be helpful. So, you know, that's what it's all about, right? I'm not going to use the haha funny winder launcher because it is hilarious, but it's very unwieldy to use. So I'm going to use my that was a string launcher. I'm going to use my winder launcher again. All right, let us get into what actual testing would look and feel like. Timer. Okay. I'm gonna launch on 5 seconds. 3, 4. I'm aiming for 1. I was like, okay, but yeah, it did touch the rail again, so that was a little too hard. I gotta do that a little bit better. We're gonna do it again. 2, 3. Okay, if it doesn't X dash anymore, then I think this will be good. Now we let that finish spinning. We have Keyblade at home. Try Wolf Blast 680 ball. This can win against Rod 160 Hexa. I mean, yeah, it's on ball. It's a heavy blade on ball at that. That makes sense. All right. So what I've been seeing is like the 1 minute for these launches specifically, the way I'm doing it, the 1 minute 25 second mark is like the threshold. If it's doing past that every single time, it's definitely a highly balanced ratchet. Oh, my cat's coming. Cat cam, let's go. We're at 1 minute and 3 seconds. And it's variable. It's gone as low as like 1 minute and 5 seconds and as high as 1 minute and 50 seconds, but that's why we do a lot of tests to get the average. Get ready to stop it. Wobbling, that's what you really want to look for. Okay, that was 1 minute and 23 seconds. So I'm going to fill that in. And we go again. Do that 9 more times. 1, 2. That was maybe too light. No, I think that was good. Okay. It hit the X-rail a little bit more than I would want it to, but we're gonna say that's good. Which we love to see. This is Wizard Rod 660 Kick is the combo. Per PR Zivil. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm sorry. I tried my best. It's 660 Kick. Yeah. You don't see much hovers even after the lottery. I was able to get my hands on one though. What's the best matchup? What is its best matchup? Shark demolishes Wizard Rod and stuff. So I would say, so Hover Wyvern's really, really, really popular here in the West. I think the most popular combo, it's actually in my December testing video. If you guys haven't seen that, go check it out. Not testing video, December meta video. 960 Kick for Hover Wyvern. That's been the most popular here. The one that's found the most success, but that is not the only one that you can use. I'll talk on it in a second. Just let me watch this. Okay, so that had 1 minute and 22 seconds. First of all, cat tax. Hold on. This is Nugget. I know I have to pay the cat tax. He's a chunky boy. He's a very chunky boy. He's currently stabbing my shoulder. Why you stab? You're purring so loud. I wonder if you guys can hear him. He's a very good boy. Except when he's not. But that's okay. Oh! Ow. You say hello? You say hello? Can you spin a Beyblade? I don't think you can, guys. He's so sick of me right now. Okay. Okay. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh yeah, Hover Wyvern. Hold on. You guys want to see my... Not really in good shape right now because I've been messing with parts. But this is my Kaiba briefcase. So I've got from top left to bottom right, I've got red Drake, pink Bay Park Dranbuster, I've got Valkyrie Volt there, I've got regular Hover Wyvern, Scorpio Spear, Koro Phoenix unused, the blue Bay Park Dranbuster, an unused Aero Pegasus, Triceratops, blue Nightmail, black Cobalt Dragoon, black and green Bay Park Dranbuster, clear Cobalt Drake, Metal Coat Black Tusk Mammoth, Metal Coat Black Phoenix Wing, Samurai Caliber, and Fox Brush with Emperor. It looks cool. I also have this. This is what I wanted to show you. And yes, I have, in fact, used it. Of course I'm going to use it. I'm not one to get pretty prizes and have them sit on the shelf. I love this thing. It looks so good. Currently, the combo I like using it with is 160 level. I've really enjoyed 160 level. I know everyone loves to use 960 kick, and that's fair. It's good, but I don't like using it on 960 kick. I've not found very good luck with 960 kick. I just find that for me, the intent of being a super strong recoily attacker that has good stamina, it doesn't really last long enough for me to want to use that combo. So, but yeah, let's catch up on chat. Kick is just like one of the best like bits made ever, period. I will pretty much always use kick. My deck will basically always be kick, level, and something else. Between Hexa, Rush, Low Rush. I've been messing a little bit with Trans Kick too, honestly. Kick's so good. But I'm honestly like kind of falling out with Rush bits in general, which is kind of crazy because I know they're really good. I always think every time I lose a spin finish using Rush, I'm like, I wouldn't have lost this with Kick. You know what I mean? Like, it just feels like Kick is Rush but better. I will die on that hill. What do you think about Hover Wyvern on 960 Underneedle? I just think Underneedle is a liability bit. I think it's really fun in theory, but I think Underneedle just like pops way too easily. So I think it's cool, but I personally wouldn't bring it to a competition. What about Emperor Blast Heavy 360 Rush? Yeah, I think that's going to be one of the standard combos you'll see Emperor Blast combos on. Maybe Low Rush instead of Rush, but yeah, 360 just aligns super well with the three sides of the blade. On my list, testing, which is it's not creative, but I've got the Red Blast, Valkyrie Blast Heavy 960 Taper. I've talked with a lot of people about blast combos. I don't have good luck running blast, and I'm not saying it's not. I think it's me more than blast. I do. Because my problem is that, and I'm sure it could get better with practice, but my problem with blast, and it was especially a problem with Blast Wheel, is that it had no pocket recovery. It's honestly really similar to Clock Mirage, to be honest. It has no pocket recovery, and I would find myself getting pocketed way too easily. But then when I switch to something like, if you try it on Hexa or something like that, it doesn't have the stamina like Taper does. It just doesn't have as good of movement either. So I don't know. It was it's tough for me to use blast combos. I want to, cause like, dude, this thing is sick. I love it. Right now. But I'm not good with blast. It's so satisfying though. How was Japan? Japan was absolutely sick. I got so many souvenirs. I have had way too much fun. Eat so much Family Mart fried chicken. It was insane. It was really good. It's probably just not for you. I had the same issue with the hover wyvern. Yeah, I feel that. One of my friends won with Eclipse Jaggy that we theorized. Oh, hey, look at that. I talked about Eclipse Jaggy in my video today. It was Soul, not Metal Octave. It was Soul Eclipse Jaggy 960 Low Rush, I think. And this is even with the heavy assist blade being out, because I think Eclipse is just like a very heavy blade. I've actually got a combo that I really want to try. This is not me saying it's good. I haven't tested it yet. But other people have tested this combo in my circle and have good things to say about it. It's Soul Eclipse blue side, round, and then they didn't give me a ratchet or bit to try, but I'm trying 960 taper. Soul Eclipse round, 960 taper. And the reason it works so well is look at the freaking gaps between round and Soul. You could get Beyblade so easily caught in there. Like, look at this height difference, dude. Look at the height difference there. I know I'm not like on flat ground right now. I'm trying to make it even. This is hard to do. Sorry. But like, look at that. Look at how perfectly that slots in there. I think this has potential. I don't know. Let me run a launch really quick. Just to do some not good actual testing. Here, let me get another launcher. Casually pulls another launcher out of a hat. Switch the view too. Alright, let's see. This is not good testing, but we're gonna try it. Okay, things are slowing down. Oh my god. Did you see that? That was crazy. Alright, do we run it back? Let's run it back, let's run it back. That was such a snap kill into the extreme. That was wild. Alright, let's try that again. This is not Rod 160 Hexa, by the way. This is 660 Kick, so keep that in mind. Oh! And it's returned. But, okay, we'll do a third time's a charm. Third time's a charm. Wow, that was a crazy hit. Dude, that thing hits like a truck. Oh my god. Oh no, but see now it's... So it's got good LAD. It's not gonna be enough this time. Round. But... Alright. I want to run that back again. That's actually extremely... That's a very fun combo. Wow, that wanted to come out of the badly. And Soul just said no. That's crazy. Yo, TMS, what's up, dude? If you guys aren't subscribed to TMS, definitely subscribe because they're the ones who edited my Japan vlog. And they did a very good job. They're based and goated, as they say. We'll do one more and then we'll go back to balance tuning stuff. Oh, wait, we're gonna do a different one because that was a self KO and that's no fun. No one wants to end on a self KO. What's up, Garda? Welcome to the stream, dude. 660 Hexa is a hidden gem. Oh, thanks for the sub, Dusk Dawn. It's funny because like being on YouTube versus like something like Twitch, subscriptions are funny because like that person who just subscribed could very well have no idea that I'm streaming right now. They could just have watched a random video of mine from like ages ago and just subbed, which thank you still, but that's just funny to me. All right, anyways. All right, we'll do one more real one. Okay. Ooh, yeah. I feel like every time I've launched it, it's gotten like one insanely strong hit out. But if that one hit doesn't do it, yeah, it could have died. To be fair, it's going against Rod on kick. So that's got a lot of stamina, but anyways, that's my fun combo I'm messing with right now. One of them at least. I've got a lot. That was where am I? Where are we? Soul round. There we go. Soul Eclipse round 960 taper. Anyways. Can I suggest a combo? Yeah, you can always suggest a combo. Have I tried Rock Golem 360 free ball? I've seen Rock Golem on free ball. I haven't tried it, but I've seen it. It's definitely pretty good. Let's see. Wizard Rod, Hexa, and Guna Elevate versus Mirage 45 Disc Ball. I did see people running Disc Ball when Clock Mirage first came out as like a funny, I don't know. It wasn't even funny. It was good. The LAD is insane on it. Yeah, I was gonna say what Rogue said. 660 on Rock Golem is just like a perfect pairing. That ratchet's made for Rock Golem for real. Greetings from Peru. What's up, Rolando? Shark Scale. I'm assuming is that Shark Scale or Scorpio Spear? I genuinely don't know. 360 Underneedle. 360 Underneedle would be funny on Shark Scale. I know there was someone in my scene who was running Shark Scale on Underneedle. Blast Wheel 760 level. I can tell you right now that that's gonna be a good combo because it's Blast Wheel on a 60 height ratchet. I've personally found that level, and maybe this is just me being not good, but I've found that level is not very good for CX. Every single CX combo I've made with level has done noticeably worse with level than it would with like kick or taper or like low rush or something. It doesn't make sense to me because level is a great bit, but maybe it's like the weight or the weight distribution or something, but it just doesn't ever work with different CX combos. Point is also, I think, a super valid take on Blast Wheel combos. Emperor Brave round 360 low flat. Interesting. I don't feel like round is a great assist blade for Brave, but Yeah, no, I think that's actually a very bad pairing. But if you found success with it, that's awesome. I just wouldn't intuitively think of it. If you could only use one bay for the rest of your life, what would it be? That's a great question. One for the rest of my life. I know this is going to be funny because I'm the anti-wizard wizard club. But it would probably be Wizard Rod. Only because you could run it stamina, you could run it defense, you could run it attack with kick. There's so many different ways to utilize Rod and utilize it effectively. I feel like that's a fair take. I was thinking of Arrow, but you can't have like stamina Arrow. That's not a thing. You know. Traitor. Is Rod 160 kick good? No, it's not good. It's freaking incredible. It's really good. I was about to say a swear word, but I remembered I want to be a family friendly to an extent. It's funny because I was at locals what was it? Yesterday, actually, a local tournament here in Southern California. And the really sweet kid came up to me. He must have been like probably, I'm assuming like somewhere in the range of 10 years old, maybe a little older, a little younger. He was very kind, you know, like, oh, hey, I watch your videos. I really like them, blah, blah, blah. He very like softly asked for a picture. And of course I obliged. I'm, you know, which I'll say, like, anytime you ever see me at an event or anything like that, like, please come up and ask me for a picture. It makes my day. It makes me so happy to see the people who watch and support me in real life. That genuinely makes me happy. But just the way that he asked for it was just like, it was very like cute little kid vibes. It was great. But it reminded me that there are little kids who are watching this content, that these are toys for kids, and that I probably should be watching what I say. So that's why I hesitated there for a second. Emperor Hunt heavy 760 low rush. What do you think about it? It's not a bad call. I mean, 760 low rush, that's pretty good. I feel like with CX you get a little bit of, and just in general 760, the pros and cons of 760 are that it scrapes more, but it's heavier. So if you've got a blade that you're trying to make heavier just because of your win condition, or your it's a lighter blade or whatever you want, 760 helps with that. But it does tend to scrape a lot faster than pretty much any other 60 height ratchet. 360, 160, 960, 560, whatever. So 760 is going to be the first to start scraping the stadium floor. That's why I'm kind of hesitant on using it. Rod 160 low orb, Shark 960 Hexa. Shark 960 Hexa. I tried that the other day. Really, really good in theory. Really good at home testing. Didn't pan out as well at the tournament, which I only ran it for one tournament so far. So, you know, keep that in mind. But 960 Hexa, I think Shark on Hexa in general is probably going to see growth in the next month or so. I'm seeing a lot of it happening at various local events here, and I could see more of it happening in other regions. So I am not surprised to hear about that. Shark Scale 170 free ball is my goat. I did play against a guy. No, it wasn't free ball. It was low orb. Shark Scale 160 low orb and Shark Scale 960 low orb. Both of those. And it was actually pretty good. The counter attack Shark. I think that's kind of what 960 Hexa is trying to be. But the reason I wanted to try 960 Hexa is because I found that Shark was actually self-KOing more often than other blades were when I was using them. Maybe based on the shape and like the height, kind of like ramping off the X-ray a little bit if you launch really hard. So that's why I wanted Hexa, because it's a little bit less of a crazy bit. But like, yeah, or low orb, free ball, those could kind of accomplish the same thing for sure. How's balance tuning been working for you in tournaments? Is it making it better? I can't answer that because today is the first time that I've attempted balance tuning anything, and I still have a long way to go. This is a very long process. I'm going extremely slowly because I'm now prioritizing talk. But even still, it can be as short or long of a process as you want it to be, depending on how nitty gritty and in the grains you're getting with it. But I have not been to a tournament since balance testing, because I started balance testing this evening. So I built the tool earlier, but I didn't really do testing until today. So I did Shark 170 Hexa Shark, but changed it to 450. Still on Hexa 450. That feels like you're trying to go for best of both worlds. I would recommend either changing the bit or ratchet if you're going to run Hexa on that. Maybe not, but I mean, it could work. It's still, I mean, they're all good parts. It's not bad, but you could optimize, I think. Bounce tuning is super expensive because you got to buy a lot of molds. Okay, so that's actually a good point. Amon the Blader. I would say my advice, people who are thinking about balance tuning, do not go into balance tuning expecting and thinking that you have to buy more than you already have to balance tune and find the most optimal thing. Because all of this at the end of the day comes down to quality control from Hasbro and Takara Tomy, and you can't help that. You probably shouldn't use your money on that because the difference is not going to be that meaningful. It's like a 5% growth, which roughly speaking. What I would say is if you already own multiple copies of the same part because you happen to get some, right? Then it might be worth balance tuning. But I would not recommend no, Pig, I disagree. You're saying balance tuning isn't about mold, more about orientation. But if you take two 660s, right? Two 660s, or any part that is technically identical. Two blades, more so the ratchets and the blades than the bits, but two things that are supposed to be identical. You and I both know that quality control is not amazing from these companies. So there's going to be very, very slight variations that have serious potential impact in changing how balanced it is. Orientation is totally a part of it, probably the main part of it, but that, in my opinion, doesn't make quality control and mold variation not a part of it. I think they're both a part of balance tuning. Unless you, I mean, because you can balance tune with only one part. I guess that's fair to say. I'll amend what I said earlier. Even if you only have one part of a specific thing, like let's say you only have one level and one 160 or something, right? Or one 960 and one ball. You can still balance tune those with the ratchet and to an extent the bit orientation. It's just better when you have multiple copies of the same part. Like I said, the thing I was saying earlier is that you can take this as far as you want it to or as short as you want it to. It's really easy for it to snowball out of control and become like a massive like amount of hours you pour into it. It doesn't have to be that way. I think you can get a lot of benefit by just taking one single copy of a ratchet and figuring out which orientation gives you better stamina. And maybe the difference is, not really there between the two. But even just doing your ratchet and then trying to keep the bit consistent, right? That can help for sure. Mold is really, really, really min-maxing. Yeah, I mean, that's valid. I have two rods, 34.7 and 35.8. That's a crazy difference in weight, honestly. That's actually wild. Yeah, balance tuning to that extreme would be worth it if Takara ever started doing cash cups. Yeah, no, I agree. It's probably not worth it for most people, but USA community way base here in Peru. Heavy mold is very important. Yeah. Rolando, yeah. Sorry, I'm like reading from bottom to top in chat right now. But yeah, weight is definitely a thing here. I know some people, because like I don't know if y'all have seen restocks where you're at, but here in Southern California, like all the Targets and everything, it just got like massive end caps full of actually really good product, like a bunch of green rods, a bunch of silver wolves, like drawn busters, honestly just mostly green rods. And I've seen people literally buy like 5, 6, 7, 10 plus green wizard rods just to weight max their wizard rod, which is valid, but I'm not going to do that. you won't catch me at the Target buying 10 wizard rods. Sorry. I'm going to waste my money on other dumb stuff, but not 10 wizard rods. I don't know what the weight of my wizard rod is right now. All I know is that my yellow rod is slightly heavier than my green rod. I have A8 Wolf super heavy and the A8 mold is super tight. Yeah, honestly, I should use Silver Wolf more because I also hunted for an A8 mold just to get it. I have not really used it, but I have it now. I say hunted. I bought 2 Silver Wolves, and I only was going to buy 2 because I have one on display on my shelf that you guys can't see. And I happened to get one of them as an A8 mold, which was really good. Hype boy. I don't know, man. Everyone's saying this 6-7 stuff. I don't... This is like what makes me feel more unk than anything else, is when people start saying 6-7. I don't know, man. That ages me like 50 years. But it's okay. More power to you. Rush is horrendously overpriced in Asia. I have to buy the Dran Dagger or the Infinite Stadium. Wow. That's crazy. Yeah, because I guess Hasbro products are not really sold in Asia and Japan, so that would make sense. Yeah, I have like more Rush than I know what to do with. That's wild, actually. I wonder if there are parts in Asia that are really easy to get that are really hard to get here. Because it's not really anything, right? I don't know. Because I feel like if you're... I mean, I guess if it's like if you're only buying Hasbro products, then you'd have a lot of stuff that would be hard to get. But most people, unless you're like a little kid, are not only buying Hasbro products. Testing rod 160 wedge, and it was beating everything. That's really interesting. I was thinking about wedge the other day. I feel like wedge has cemented itself as like the duct tape bit. And here's what I mean by that. Put 960 wedge on pretty much any blade, and it's gonna be serviceable. It is pretty good stamina. It's pretty good defense. You can use it on a light blade, a heavy blade. I feel like 960 wedge has become the default combo to throw on shit. Sorry, stuff. Why am I saying sorry? I'm an adult. I mean, I get it. Whatever. Sorry. Brain is dumping out right now. Put 960 wedge on anything and it'll probably be somewhat decent. You can say that about a lot of ratchet bit combos, but I was just thinking about that recently. Like, I feel like that every time I hear of like an anti-meta or off-meta blade, someone's like, oh, I found a combo that really works. It usually involves wedge and usually involves 960. But for sure wedge. Maybe a different ratchet, but usually wedge. Which is funny because when it first came out, everyone was kind of writing it off initially because it would burst a lot. But I think that was more of a height problem with Perseus Dark, and also a problem with Perseus Dark being bad than anything else. My deck has... Here, you know what? Because I'm honestly, like, exhausted. Let's pull a Jacob Pomegranate and do deck reviews. Tell me your guys' current competitive decks, and I will tell you what I think about it and what, if anything, I would change. I'm gonna take the first one that comes into chat, and if you start saying like Gil Shark and Samurai Steel, I'm going to block you. I'm not going to block you, but I'm not going to believe that that's your true competitive deck. What's the best Perseus Dark combo you can think about? The problem with Perseus Dark is that it's like by far the worst CX combo and blade, and it's not even close. All right, Hype Boy, I saw yours first, but I'll do a bunch of these. I'm not worried, so don't stress about typing very fast. Sorry, the phone thing. Wizard Rod 160 kick, Emperor Blast heavy 360 low rush, Shark Scale 560 rush. Okay, let's start with Rod. So Wizard Rod on 160 kick. I highly respect you. That is a great combo. Here's where I'm at with Attack Rod right now. With Attack Rod, I think that it is highly meta dependent. So I came from the Midwest. I'm now in Southern California, and I feel like Rod 160 Hexa is still very good, but has a lower ceiling out here. People play extremely aggressively, and the one weakness that blade has is if in the early game it gets shoved into the rail or shoved into the pocket. Now, it is like still the number one combo overall. Like, it is amazing. That combo is incredible, but people have played against it so much that they're really figuring out how to counter it if they run into it. So that's why I think more people are experimenting with attack rod combos, which is where 160 kick comes in. Because I think kick gives rod a little bit more aggression, but also lets it maintain the stamina that the Hexa variant and the ball variants had, while still obviously being highly burst resistant because it's kick. One thing I really like, and I'm not going to take credit for this because a guy from Southern California out here, Beyblader Nick, shout out to him. He's, I know, been running Rod 160 kick for a long, long time. And what he says, paraphrasing, but what he says is that leading with Rod 160 kick is incredibly powerful because it's got enough stamina and enough aggression to beat pretty much any combo that's not like all in on one direction, whether it's all in on attack or all in on stamina, 9 out of 10 times. Now, you have to be a great blader with great launch tech and great power to do that. But like, let's say if he's not going against like Clock Mirage on low orb, he's gonna outspin it. If he's not going against, I don't know, Hover Wyvern 160 kick or 160 rush or Arrow Pegasus 160 rush or something, like, he's gonna be able to out aggression it, and it's gonna change his launch tech when he launches it. I say him, this is now generally speaking, but like, that's what's so powerful about attack rod, especially attack rod on kick, which has really good stamina. So I think that's a great pick. Alternatives for Wizard Rod 160 kick that you could think about, just consider, like I'm testing now, the 660 kick. It really would just mainly be to free up that 160 so you could use it on something else. Or you could test 060. That's a whole nother conversation. Long and short of it is that 060 can be really good. It just is going to be more burst prone. Your mileage may vary. If you find the right, the version of 060 that came with Wolf Hunt, just test it. If it's bursting on you, don't use it, obviously, but give it a shot. All right, I rambled a lot there. I'm sorry. I'm a certified yapper. Emperor Blast Heavy 360 Low Rush. That is very, very good. I think that's going to become one of, if not the gold standard for your Emperor Blast Heavy combos coming up. Either 960 or 360, and likely either Low Rush or Taper. I think those 4 parts are going to interchange with Emperor Blast Heavy pretty frequently. And then Shark Scale 560 Rush. Very curious about 560. I don't know if you've tested it and have good balance on it. I would say trying either 360 level, because that just seems like a really tall Shark Scale, which maybe works if you're in a meta with like a lot of really tall blades, but I'm assuming you're not. You want Shark Scale to be lower, so using it, and I guess I was going to say 360 level. That's going to be the same height because they're both that height bit. You could try 450 level. I'm obviously partial to that. I found a lot of success with it. I don't know. I'm thinking out loud right now. I don't hate it. The height wise, I don't hate it. 60 height ratchet with rush bit. You might want to try Taper on your blast build and then move low rush to Shark, or try 450 with Shark Scale, and then I would use level at that point just for the extra stamina. Anyways, that's one person's combos. I yapped a lot, but that's the gist. Hopefully that is helpful for you and for everyone, but especially for you. My deck is Shark Edge 450 level. That is not a full deck, but thank you for joining. Shark Scale 360 low rush. I'm gonna not rehash a lot of the points I've been making. Basically what I said about Shark Scale 360 low rush applies here. Wizard Rod 160 Hexa, that's pretty natural. Phoenix Wing 370 rush. Blade Runner, I would love to understand. Okay, so you're probably using 370 because your 360s on Shark Scale. This is curious. So you have a taller Phoenix Wing. I actually, like, funny enough, don't hate that. I would maybe, if you're gonna go 70 height, maybe try 170. Maybe, I don't know, because I feel like three-sided ratchets complements it so much. Or maybe no, because you're using low rush already. That's tough. 370. That's just like a really tough deck to build around. I would either chain, I don't know, you don't have to change anything. I think it could work, but I would try, if you can, to get your 360. Honestly, I would put your 360 low rush on Phoenix Wing. I love that combo. It's so good on Phoenix Wing. And then I would just make your Shark Scale something else, either a 450 level. You could do 960 Hexa, something else. Because I think if you're gonna run Phoenix Wing, 360 low rush is like so good for it. All right, let's see. Amon the Blader is Shark Scale 360 low orb, Clock Mirage 455 free ball, Wizard Rod 160 wedge. Interesting. Okay, so I would put your Shark Scale on 360 is okay. You could do 960 low orb if you're trying to go for counterattack Shark. But I don't think 360 is wrong. I think it's a valid option. But if you're struggling with it, try 960. I would think free ball on Clock Mirage. At that point, you're at regular height, like regular bit height, not low and not high. You have a lot of options. I don't think that's wrong. I think you want Clock to be as short as possible. Because here's the thing. You lose with Clock when people get access underneath your blade. And they get access underneath your blade easier when you're taller. So if you're going to use low orb, honestly, I would maybe swap the bits on Shark Scale and Clock there. I would put low orb on Clock and free ball on Shark if you're going for that type of build. Because I think Shark Scale can afford to be a little taller with free ball. I think Clock Mirage will benefit significantly from being on low orb. And then Wizard Rod 160 wedge, I think that's totally valid. I would say wedge. I'm curious why you don't use it with Hexa. I guess maybe just because of the stamina. Yeah, I'm interested to hear what makes you choose wedge over Hexa in that deck. I want Zeno says, I want a really big tournament in my city using Shark Scale 360 low rush. Perseus Jaggy. Okay, I don't care about anything else in your deck. How are you winning with... Oh, you said Dark Perseus. Oh, Perseus Dark. Yeah, okay. How are you winning with that blade? Dark. Because that blade is so bad, dude. I'm glad you won. That thing is bad. Low flat. I guess you're just going for like a glass hammer. Glass cannon, rather, build. Is Kick better or Hexa? I might change it. Hype Boy, your deck. I think Hexa on paper is better, but I don't think Kick is wrong. Listen to all my yapping from earlier to see why. Shark Edge 450 level. Do you mean Shark Scale or Shark Edge? Because Shark Edge 450 level is very different. Shark Scale 450 level is great though. Where was I? Cobalt Dragoon 560 elevate, Pegasus Blast Wheel 960 kick. Yeah, Dragoon on elevate is falling out of favor, but as I said that in my video yesterday, I was doing like practice runs with a guy and he was kicking my ass with elevate Dragoon, so like, you know, is definitely not dead. It's just a little bit more risky. You have to have good launch tech with it. Blast Wheel 960 kick, classic blast combo. That's great. Shark Scale 170. This is Mark Salacup. Shark Scale 170 low rush, Rod 160 free ball, Dragoon 360 elevate. Yeah, I love 170 low rush on scale. I think it's really, really good, especially if your 160 is already occupied. Free ball is definitely interesting. And then Dragoon 360 elevate. I would wonder why you're not using 560. I think that's universally more balanced, but it's definitely not a bad deck, especially if you're confident in your ability to launch Dragoon on elevate and not get burst. Wizard Rod operate. Shark Scale 960 free ball Emperor. This is Garda's deck. And then Emperor Blast heavy 460 level. Do you mean 450 level? Why are we using 460 unironically? Weird choice. I would change that ratchet unless you meant 450. And then Wizard Rod operate, I think, is more of a gimmick. I think that there's a lot of people who are hyping it up, and I don't think that it's actually genuinely any better than like a 160 Hexa or a 960 ball or something like that. I think it's cute, but I don't think that it's gonna like meaningfully last in the meta. But yeah, I like Shark Scale 960 free ball. That's not bad for like a counterattack shark. Are there tournament rules against light launching purposely lose in a spin finish to only lose 1 point instead of possibly losing the burst? No. Ben Lamb asked basically if they can launch super light, but I also like if they can launch super light to lose in a spin finish instead of possibly losing to a burst over extreme. But I think you're assuming that launching lighter is going to make it more likely for you to lose by spin, unless you like literally like hand launch it basically. I want you to do yourself a favor. Just take your Beyblade, put it in the middle of the stadium, and then rip into it as hard as you can with another Beyblade. It's probably going to get pocketed or extremed 50% of the time because you're a sitting duck. I would not recommend you doing that. I would just try your best and have fun. But launching super light is not going to guarantee you don't lose. It's only going to guarantee you lose. It's not going to guarantee how you lose. You know what I mean? Man, dude, I yap so much. Thanks you guys for listening, because I was trying to go through every combo, every deck that was listed, and I've only gotten through like 4, and there's been a lot of chat since then. All right. Let's see. Where was I? Let's see what Wolfin's deck is. I'm going to use my next tournament. Green Rock Golem, 660 free ball. Love it. Hover Wyvern, 960 Underneedle. Triceratops, 570 ball. Interesting. Okay, Wolfin. Don't change your Rock Golem. I like 660 free ball. I think that's really cool. Hover Wyvern, I don't like Underneedle. I think, and this is maybe my own bias, but I think that Underneedle is super risky. It bursts so easily. I would change that to something else. You could do low rush, you could do kick, you could do rush, you could do level, but like anything but Underneedle. I know that you want to be short with the height, I'm assuming, but I just don't think it's worth the burst risk. And then Triceratops 570 ball. I'm gonna keep it a $150 with you. That is a wild combo. I have never heard of that. I don't know what is. I mean, so let me give you the benefit of the doubt. Let me think about this. Let me grab my Triceratops. Okay. Triceratops. You have the 3 prongs. If we look at the bottom of the blade, it's relatively equal. It's not like hollowed out one particular way or another, as far as I can tell at first glance. So it's pretty, evenly distributed on the weight. So if you do, of the 560, 3 on this side and 2 on this side, that makes it 4 and 4. So that could be balanced. So I could see where you're going at with, I guess you said 570, not, yeah, 570. And then ball. Why ball? That is a very interesting choice. Ball and free ball in your decks. Maybe try wall ball? I don't know. I feel like ball is a little bit outdated at this point. Or you could go crazy and try my combo that I found in my Tricerapress testing video that I did, which is on my channel. In case you guys haven't seen it, I did a lot of a deep dive test on this. It made Tricerapress 360 Rush. Look at this color balanced combo. It looks so good. Is it balance tuned? Absolutely not, but it looks great. A lot of aura. That combo is really good, especially if you can tilt launch pretty heavy and use the little prongs to basically like burst and pop people. It's really satisfying to use. Let's see. Oh man, a lot of chat. I'm gonna start from the bottom. Says, what's up, Says? Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in, dude. I think it's really cool how much you can think about this Beyblade generation. Yeah, I don't have context because I didn't really play Metal Fight or Burst, but I'm using Ball for endurance. I tested on Wizard Rod 160 Hexa and outspun several times, or pocketed Wizard Rod. I don't doubt the pockets because this thing is very chunky on the top. What I would say, Wolfen, is just keep in mind testing at home versus testing with other people in a tournament environment are two very different things. So just keep that in mind. See if you could get some practice runs in with friends or whatever before you commit to that combo, because I do think it can be optimized. But at the end of the day, if it works for you, it works. Don't let me tell you not to use it if it's working. You know what I mean? Like, then that goes for everyone. Like, I'm not some savant. I'm definitely, there's a bunch of people who are better than me. So definitely use it if it's working for you, for sure. Rolando, I will do your deck. I'll try to do as many as I can, but I'm just a certified yapper, and there's a lot of you, so I'm trying to keep up. All right, let's see. I also get very easily distracted. Xeno, you should try my Dark Perseus combo. Honestly, you have me intrigued because I really want Perseus Dark to work because I think it looks really cool. Light launch tech is legit in Japan. All right, sorry, I keep getting distracted. I'm gonna do Rolando and then I'm gonna do Pig Beefs. Let me find your deck, Rolando. Where did you put it? Shark 360 Hexa, Rod 760 Low Orb, Dragoon 960 Elevate. I like Shark 360 Hexa. It's a different variation of the counterattack Shark that's growing in popularity. Rod 760 Low Orb. So I really don't like that. And I'm nitpicking here, but here's why. Remember what I was saying earlier about 760 being the heaviest, but also first 60 height ratchet to scrape of all of them? You're putting a scrape prone ratchet on a lower bit. Don't like that. I don't like that myself. I would use, if you're trying to go, oh, YouTube's throwing me an error. I hope everything's okay. Keyframes are not being sent often enough. How do I fix that? Eesh. Output, stream. Oh. 4 seconds or less? I have it on 2 seconds. I'll do 0. I hope I don't break the stream right now. I just changed a setting and I'm not good with this stuff. Okay, anyways. Where did you go, Rolando? There we go. Anyways, 760 Low Orb. If you want to go with Low Orb, I would change to 960. If you want to keep 760, I would go to... Honestly, Kick wouldn't be a bad shout there. And then 960 Elevate, you could swap that to 560 if you wanted to. That's what I would do if I were you, Rolando. Alright, let me do Pig Beef because I said I would. Shark Scale 170... What? Oh, 170 Kick. I blanked out for a second. Shark Scale 170 Kick. Tall Shark Clap Blast Tall shark clap. Oh, you're just saying it's tall shark. I was like, what is this blade? I was so confused for a second. Shark Shale 170 kick. Yeah, I think that's good. I would maybe put on low rush. Wait, that's not even your combo. Let me get to your deck. Oh my god, you were just responding. Dude, I have like ADD brain right now. Here we go. Shark Scale 170 kick. Yeah. 160 hexa rod. Blast wheel 960 taper. That is super standard for our scene, I feel like. I would say tall swing out of pocket super. You know what? I actually say that you have some validity there, Pig Beef, with 170 kick being taller than like 170 low rush. Because I was gonna say low rush is more popular, but my gripe with Shark on 170 is that I don't feel like it's got like the exposure of the nub on the one-sided 70 height ratchet is not enough to get out of the pocket that effectively. And I don't think that's a 170 problem. I think that's a Shark problem. The shape of the blade and the ratchet, if you look at Shark without a bit in it with a 160 or a 170, it just doesn't have as much room to maneuver out of the pocket when it's spinning with a one-sided ratchet. So maybe the kick, the taller height helps with that, but then again, you're making Shark Scale a lot taller than it would be otherwise. So that is also maybe not good. Who knows? But it's not a problem. Give me 1 second. YouTube keeps throwing me errors. I hope the stream's still good. Go medium. And back to 2. All right. Let's see. The Rogue Blader. What's up, dude? Sorry. All right, let's catch up back on recent chats. Hype Boy, I almost forgot to ask your thoughts about Philippines discovering CX version of Hover Wyvern. A CX... Emperor Arc Heavy 360 Low Rush. Let me visualize this. Emperor Arc Heavy 360 Low Rush. Interesting. You're the second person who I've seen kind of prophesize using Arc in a competitive environment, which is really interesting to me. Instant X on level is asking for... I don't know what you mean by that, sorry. We love gambling in this house. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, that's interesting. I'm not immediately allergic to it. Only because I saw someone actually do really well with an Arc combo this last weekend at a tournament. So I'm higher on Arc than I was previously before the heavy release. That combo, yeah, I have noticed like the tips of my Shark Scale are definitely a bit dull now that I've used it so much. Okay, I just saw something pop up in the chat. Whale Wave 180 Vortex is absolutely wild behavior. The down smash is real, but why Vortex? Why Vortex? Also, can I just say, the love that 660 is getting these days, as of late, makes me so happy, because my first tournament video, one of my biggest videos I've ever done, by the way, was when I went undefeated in a tournament. And you know what I was using back then? Night Mail 660 Rush. Now, this is before Shark Scale was a thing. This is even before Scorpio Spear was a thing. It was quite a while ago. But Night Mail 660 Rush got me to undefeated in it. Not just winning the tournament, going undefeated in the tournament. I didn't drop a match. And everyone was always saying, oh, there's probably better ratchets. And even I slowly fell out of love with 660. But man, it's coming back. And I really love to see it. I glitched out. What did you think about my deck? Sorry, I couldn't hear. I might not have gotten to your deck, to be honest, because I got, frankly, a little overwhelmed because a lot of people said their decks in. And I tried to get to many of them. Sending deck again. All right, let me quickly do a 760. Shark Scale 760 Rush. Phoenix Wings 3. Put your Golem Rock on 660, because what I just said. It also, that ratchet's made for Golem Rock. You can keep Wedge. It's really good on it. 660 Wedge. Phoenix Wing 370 level. Swap it to 360. There's no reason why you should have it on 370 if you're not using 360. Actually, I take that back. Put Phoenix Wing on 360 low rush. Low rush, excuse me. Because again, that's like the combo that's tailor-made for Phoenix Wing. It's so good. 160 rush is good too, technically, but I personally love 360 low rush. And Shark Scale 760 rush is fine. It's pretty good. Not gonna knock that. A higher height bit to not make 760 scrape as much, so I don't own Elevate, that's why I don't use it. Yeah, I wouldn't use Elevate right now, and I do own it. I own 2. 3? Technically 3. One of them sealed. Rod 360 low orb. Okay, let's see. I've used Nightmail on 960 Vortex on a tournament and I won. I love that. Vortex is crazy to me, but I love that you won with Nightmail. He used to be like my #1 favorite Bay. All right, Franco, I see your chats. There's so many combos I were posted. Just repost your combos. I'm caught up with chat now, so I'll take a look at your deck in a moment. Have you tested Pegasus Blast free 660 Hexa? No, I have not. But what I've heard is pretty good is Pegasus Blast, not Metal Lock Chip, Pegasus Blast Heavy 660 Trans Kick. Biscuit Boy here on YouTube has been running that in tournaments. Shout out Biscuit Boy. And I thought it was super rated because it just balances super well on 3-sided blades. I kind of love that. Is my stream starting to stutter a bit? It very much might be because YouTube was telling me that my stream was having shenanigans and I tried to fix it and I might have made it worse. Let me see if I can go back and change it just to how it was. I'm gonna try this. Okay. Let me know how that is. I just changed my settings. Nightmail 960 Cyclone. Yeah, I also always confuse Cyclone and Vortex. I use Wolf on 370 Wedge. It outspins Rod almost all the time. What do you think of it? I've never tried it, but if it's outspinning Rod, that's good news. Love that for you. Anime Cat. Wizard Rod 960 Wall Ball. Cobalt Dragoon 560 Elevate. Arrow Pegasus 160 Low Rush. A worn and flat. My Arrow Pegasus is also worn and flat and has starting to develop a crack. Which pour one out for the homie because I don't want to replace it. I like 960 Wall Ball on Wizard Rod. I think that's funny and also pretty good. My old TO in Chicago used Wall Ball a lot. I don't know if he's still using it. Shout out Phantom Blur. But yeah, I think Wall Ball is good. I think it's underrated. 560 Elevate Dragoon. If it works for you, it works. You got to be really good at using it to not get burst these days. 160 Low Rush on Arrow Pegasus. That's, I mean, yeah, you got some pretty good combos there. You can't you know, knock those. They're very standard for a reason, you know. Opinion on the official YouTube channel clip of Meteor Dragoon. Those clips are always hard to judge because they A, are not facing like real combos, they're stock combos, and B, they are like cherry picked. But I am really excited about the blade. Seeing that clip did not change my excitement for better or worse. I am really excited for it. I really want a left spin blade that I can just like Oonga Boonga launch, you know what I mean? Because I think Cobalt Dragoon right now is really lightweight, and that's why like you see it's super successful with one specific bit, you know, 960, 560, whatever, but it's, excuse me, sorry, it's frustrating that we don't really have a lot of other viable options. Like, you can use level with it for sure, and people find success with level. Like, outside of like level and elevate, there's nothing really else. And I'm really excited for an option to use my left spin winder and play more aggressively. Is there any way to save the free assist blade? Yeah, I don't know if save is the right word. I think it's usable. In my recent video, I just made a comment on the fact that I feel like it's the nature of the free assist blade is, in my mind, meant for stamina combos or maybe defense combos, and I feel like the CX Beyblade combos should not be trying to be stamina heavyweights, because the height of CX is going to make that a really hard goal to reach. You'd be more effective at trying to be as strong of an attacker as you can be, rather than going for, you know, stamina, right? That's why free is in a tough spot, but I do think it's usable. It's got a good height, and it's an interesting gimmick. Like, I'm trying to think. The problem is that heavy is just... Sorry. Early day from work stuff. Where on the recommended bit rate? Oh, okay, I gotta change my bit rate now. Okay. Let's put this to 14. Why is streaming all of a sudden so hard? I missed your review from the glitch. Golem Rock. So this is Franco's deck. Golem Rock, 760 Rush, Whale Ray. Oh, I was talking about Whale Wave. Whale Wave 180 Vortex. Yeah, I think that's really crazy. I think I would change the bit, but I could see 180 because of down smash. I would use 170 instead, but if you want to do that kind of thing, maybe with like Rush. Silver Wolf 660 Ball. I would put free ball on that, but otherwise I think that's fine. Actually, I would put the 660 on Golem Rock, and then I would put maybe 960 on Silver Wolf. And then, you know what's actually funny? There's, again, that same guy I was talking about earlier, Beyblader Nick. I was DMing with him, and he's got a combo he really likes lately. Silver Wolf 960 Rush. I'm not going to speak for him because, you know, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but he highly regards it. So give that a try if you're interested in using Silver Wolf and Rush. Could work well. Matt Type Res, what's up? I'm using a full dinosaur deck for Triceratops 070 Zap. No, we talked about it earlier. Try 360 Rush. It is the best combo that I found in my deep dive testing for Triceratops. It's very good, especially when launched at a high angle. Kind of like the bumps on Triceratops pushing people out of the stadium. It's very good. Very, very good. Yeah, I was going to go to a tournament today, but unfortunately, with how big this state is, some of the tournaments that are even like in, because I live in Los Angeles now, some of the tournaments that are in the general Los Angeles area are still like, especially with traffic, a crazy drive. Like, I was going to be like trying to, you know, I can only leave when I finish work, right? And the tournament starts at 6. If I had left my house at 5, I would not have gotten to the tournament until like 7:15 p.m. And it's crazy because it's like, why would you even consider going to a tournament 2.5 hours away, blah, blah. Because without traffic, that tournament's like 35 minutes away or 40 minutes away. It's just the traffic is insane. So I just can't do that. There's a line that I got to draw, you know. So instead, I'm chilling here with y'all. So thanks for having a good night with me. Press 160 low rush is good too. My son won locals with yeah. I could see that working well. It's the same concept of high tilt, and you want to like get people to touch on the Triceratops horn, you know. All right, let's catch up. Anything else I missed in chat from earlier? Probably a bunch of combos that I was not able to review. because I have undiagnosed ADD. Stream went out for me. I didn't get to hear your thoughts on my deck. At this point, I don't know if the stream went out for everyone or if people are just saying that because I didn't respond to their deck when they put it in chat because I got overwhelmed. Which is funny. I'm just joking. But like, yeah, Brand, if you want me to review your deck, just throw it in chat again. I like asked for that and then got a bunch of them and then it was moving way too fast for me. It was a lot to keep up with. But it's okay. The stream was fine. I was messing with the stream settings, which is why I think it's valid. Maybe it went down for some people. Gaslight Gatekeep Baybos. Alright, Zhang Gaming. Rate my deck. Wizard Rod, Operate, Emperor Blast, Heavy, 960 Low Rush, Hover Wyvern, 760 Rush. Wizard Rod Operate I talked about before. I think it's a bit gimmicky. Run it if you want. I'm assuming you mean stamina mode. I think it's better than Turbo, but not by much. It's still gonna, especially the more you use it, it's gonna burst a lot. Blast, Heavy, 960 Low Rush. Pretty bog standard. I think that's great. Hover Wyvern, 760 Rush. I like that. Trying to be heavier. Rush instead of low rush to avoid scraping. Yeah, I like that a lot. In theory, at least. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. How's the food down there versus Chicago? When I visited Disneyland, found the park was pretty good. Food's really good. The thing about LA, though, is that everything is way more spread out. So you kind of can't, like... I mean, you can wander, but not in the same way that you can in Chicago. Like, Chicago, if you hit, like, a good chunk of neighborhoods, you could just wander for a while and see so many places, and you could do that on foot or like by the train or something. You can't really do that in LA. You have to like pick a neighborhood, get there, either driving or Uber or Waymo or something, and then wander that neighborhood, which is kind of a shame. But when you get to a good food spot, the food's really good. It's just kind of a different vibe than Chicago, you know? Rogue, you've got a fan in chat. Well deserved. Don't sleep on Big Body Rod. Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. I just think it's gimmicky. I mean, I tried it myself. I didn't try it a lot, but I tried it. I also do genuinely think that Operate is physically a bit that gets more and more burst prone the more you use it. I've heard a lot of reports of that. Brands, deck, Rod 360 low orb, Tyranno Beat 560 kick, Goon on 455 point. Cobalt Dragoon on 455 point feels like an identity crisis. Rod 360 low orb, I think that's fine. Tyranno Beat 560 kick, that's pretty decent. I would put 560 on your Goon though, and then I would put like 160 on Tyranno Beat, and then Goon with 560. If you want to use point, you can, but I would use for sure Elevator level over point on Dragoon. Do you think Jolt will have better stamina than Hexa? That's a really good question. Jolt is super interesting to me. I feel like there's a non-zero chance that Jolt becomes like the next level. And I know that's a crazy thing to say because I freaking love level. I also think that there's a chance it becomes the next Zap and is like super bad. Because we were kind of saying the same thing about Zap. People are like, oh, this is going to be another level because of the shape. It's like sitting on my desk right now. This Keyblade string launcher is crazy. I gotta put that back on my shelf. Yeah, LA ain't for me. I have to visit one day. Hit up the dispensaries. Yeah. No, I'm really enjoying LA. The Beyblade scene in LA is absolutely incredible. Shout out to West Coast Beyblade Club. Y'all, not club, West Coast Beyblade. They've been so welcoming, so nice. Everyone's been super, super cool here. I'm fully confident that even if I wasn't like a YouTube person, they would have welcomed me with open arms, because they have with other people who don't make content. So yeah, I think both scenes, Chicago and LA, are truly goated. I'm lucky that I've been able to live and experience both of those places. If you were to make a left spin only deck with Lightning Eldrago, Cobalt Dragoon, and Meteor Dragoon, what would you run on them? Well, it's hard to say with Meteor Dragoon because we haven't gotten it yet. Cobalt Dragoon for funsies, I would probably do 760 level, because I've ran that before and it was pretty fun. Lightning Eldrago, I would do... Who was telling me? I think someone in the Midwest Discord was saying something around the lines of Lightning Eldrago, M85, Hexa Ball? Maybe? I don't remember what it was, but it was using M85, which I thought was funny. I would probably use that for the gimmick. I'm going to a Beaktron. What's up? I'm going to an event that is going to use the Infinity Stadium. Oh, that's fun. Silver Wolf 960 Wedge, Emperor Blast Heavy 450 Low Rush, Scale 160 Rush. Yeah, it's really hard for me to give any advice on Infinity Stadium stuff because I think the gameplay is way different than the regular stadium, and I have not played a lot in it. It's actually in my closet right now because I got the Infinity Stadium set, and I want to practice the main stadium. Wolfen, I got a question. You ever participate in a team-based tournament? I have. What was your blade? I won with my own team using Wolf Blast Heavy 960 level. That is sick. I want to talk about what Rogue Hero just said in a second, but team-based tournament. I've participated in 2 team-based tournaments. One of them I'm not going to talk about, because I made a video on it and I had to private it because that person, I found out stuff about them that made me not want to associate with them, and I found that out later on, so that video is privated. That's all I'll say on that. The other team tournament I did was in here in SoCal. It was with 2 bladers, one guy that goes by John Beyblade and the other guy that goes by the Rogue Blader. The Rogue Blader is on Team Zenith out here in the West Coast, which is the same team that Jacob Pomegranate's on, if you're familiar. And there's a team tournament where you would be on a team of 3. Each Blader had their own blade. I ended up, based on our team comp, going with Aero Pegasus 360 Kick, and it worked really, really well. We got top cut pretty easily. We were not undefeated in Swiss, but I think we only had 1 loss all day. And then in Top Cut, it was extremely close, but we did end up getting knocked out in I think the quarterfinals, if I recall. But it was really close. And it was a super fun event. It was also a great way for me to like meet people here because it was relatively recently after I had moved here. So I love team events. I don't think they should be all the time, but I really like when they happen on an occasional basis. I love participating in them. Yeah, I don't know if it's been confirmed whether Jolt has high or low burst res. Maybe it has, but I don't know. Chicago just needs more locals and more TOs. Yeah, I know. It's tough. It's a thankless job. It really is. Unfortunately, I love Phantom Blair for basically carrying the scene out there on his back. And I know that there's other people in the Midwest scene who are trying to make more tournaments happen. But it's really a thankless job. It's tough. So I'm not gonna knock anyone for not doing it. It's a lot of work and you really don't get any rewards. You got to do it for the love of the game, you know. Let's see. I got a crazy second place with Black Shell 770. Yo, it's Louis' favorite. Black Shell 770 low flat, Golem 760 low rush, Samurai 960 low orb. That's pretty sick. Stamina bits play better in Infinity. Yeah, because you're probably less likely to self KO because the Infinity Stadium gives you infinitely more places to self KO. The Ocho. Also, your channel is what got me into this hobby. That's crazy. been in it for about 2 months, sold a bunch of my Magic cards, like got a whole collection now. Okay, that's sick. It's crazy that my channel is what has gotten anyone into Beyblade, when I feel like I don't know, it's just wild. I guess a decent amount of time has passed. I've talked about this I think before, but I only started getting into Beyblade like in this way. I'm not talking about when I was a kid. Obviously I played with them when I was a kid, but I only started getting into Beyblade in January of this year. My friend bought the Hasbro Stadium set for a party he was having, because he was like, LOL Beyblades, that's funny, I'll have it for the party. And at the same time, I was getting served a bunch of content on the algorithm. I will always remember the first Beyblade YouTubers I actually watched were Beyblade geeks, because their channels was so big, and the random stuff would pop up on my Instagram feed or YouTube or whatever, and I'm like, oh, Beyblades, I remember those. And then I was playing a lot of competitive Yu-Gi-Oh at the time. Sounds like similar to you, Ocho, except with Magic. The Akoa. Sorry, I'm maybe mispronouncing your name. I try my best. And then I just started saying like, hey, I bet there's like hobby shops that do this stuff. Maybe I'll give it a try. Then the rest is history. I was blading from January on, and then at some point I was like, you know, I'm sure you guys can relate. You get into a hobby, you get so into it that it's like all you consume for a while. And I was watching so much YouTube when I wasn't blading or whatever. And I was like, huh, I'm running out of content. I'm running out of content to watch. So I was like, hey, you know, might as well try my hand and making my own. So I decided, I basically prepped for a month before I started my channel. And I was like, I'm going to try my hardest at this, and I'm going to try my hardest to make it work. And if it doesn't work, can't say I didn't try. And it's worked pretty well, I think. So, you know, I'm happy about that. We love Beyblade geeks in this house. Yeah, those guys are great. I really enjoy their content. If I had the money and time, I'd try to host events. I appreciate Blur. Yeah, it is just so hard to do, Rogue. I don't blame you for that. My parents, my fiance, and myself play every Saturday. We have a locals that gets like 30 plus on Fridays and like 16 on Sundays. That's sick. I love that. That's a great setup you got going there for your little community. You're located in Arizona. Hope it to make it to LA for an event one day. Dude, you should. The events here go kind of crazy. There's a huge event that's happening December 20th that I'm going to. The long and short of it is that LA has like a club system. I talked about it in one of my recent videos. They have a club system. You're basically on teams of like 3 to 6 bladers. You earn points for your team throughout the season, which is all year, yada yada. This is like a final send off for the clubs type event, and it's going to be really big. It's going to have like probably over 100 bladers. There's going to be like other, I don't want to speak too much about it because it's not my event, but basically I'm going to be there and I'm really excited about it. I might try to make a video on it. I'm not going to lie to you guys. If you guys are from the Midwest, you know what I'm talking about. I'm really behind on tournament videos because I go to way more tournaments than I have time to make videos on. Even though I don't go to that many tournaments, I just, you know, got a lot of stuff going on. But there was one tournament that I still really want to do a video on that's honestly happened a while ago, but it's really cool. It was the first Midwest Invitational, which was one of my last tournaments I played before I moved from Chicago in October. But people played for this massive like belt, this like wrestling belt type thing. Think like WWE gold belt, like literally like this big, goes around your whole body. It was sick. I wanted to do a video on that tournament. Spoiler alert, I did not do well at that tournament, but the tournament itself was really cool. I have the footage. I just gotta actually edit the video. Content comes with content comes. Yeah, I could potentially like, okay, so here's the thing. I'll pull back the curtain a little bit on YouTube stuff for you guys. So my Japan vlog that I just made, the reason it was able to come out when it did, is because I hired someone to edit it, TMS Beyblade, which I'm sure you guys have heard of. He's pretty well known in the community. I hired him to edit it, and it's great. He did an awesome job. I really liked it. I want to hire him again to edit it. But the reality, thank you, Soul Rust, for subscribing. The reality with a channel my size, most channels this size, is that to pay someone fairly to do that job, because editing a video is a lot of work, to pay someone fairly, you are very much going into the red. I could pay that person, TMS or whoever else, I could pay them every single dollar, every amount of revenue that I make on that video, and it would not be, I personally don't think I would feel comfortable paying that much to him, because it's not a lot. My channel doesn't make a lot of money, and it's not meant to. This is not my job. I have a career, and I love my career job, so I'm good with that. But like, this is not my job. So like, if I pay someone to edit videos, yeah, I could get more videos out, but that's money directly out of my pocket. You know what I mean? And it's also like, I don't know, it's like mentally, philosophically, it's hard for me, because like, I do this channel because I love making videos. I want to make more videos. I love thinking of the ideas and sometimes recording the footage, but then like editing, even though I like it, it's just like I only have so much free time. It's like a weird thing. I don't want to pay someone else to do the thing that I already enjoy doing, but I also want to make more videos. I have like more video ideas and raw footage than I have time to edit the videos. I don't know. I'm being a channel of this size, you're just like in a weird spot with that. You know what I mean? So yeah, doing it for the love of the game is the best way, honestly. And you get to pick every detail, because that too, I'm sure there's like a lot of stuff that I put into my video editing. It's not like my video editing is crazy, but there's a lot of stuff that I become really proud of, and I'm really happy because it comes out super clean and it looks really nice, that most people probably don't notice, or even if they do, they don't really appreciate it. And that's completely fine, because I do it because it brings me joy. So like, I don't know, I'm just at a weird point. When I first started my channel, I'm sure you guys, I shouldn't say I'm sure, my intent was to release a video every single Friday, once a week. Good video every Friday, and I was on a great track to do that for a while. But different life things happened. I moved. I actually have a new job, a different job now for my career job than I did back then, and it's more demanding, which is fine because I love my job, but it just takes up more time. And I feel like that goal of one video a week, I've been trying to keep up with it, but it's really, really hard. On top of, I'm married, I have a wife. Obviously, you need to prioritize her as number one and spend time with her. I also have like a social life. I also just want to go to Beyblade events for the love of the game again, and just like compete and not make everything a video. You know what I mean? I just want to like play like you guys. So I don't know. This is a lot of stuff that like you guys probably don't care much about, but I'm mostly just using this as a sounding board because I like, I don't just like, I love the fact that I have a community that cares to listen to what I have to say. So I'm taking advantage of that because I don't really stream all that often. So thank you for indulging me a little bit. Yes, I am married. My wife's name is Kelly, and she is the best thing that ever happened to me, 100%. Which is what every married person should say about their significant other, I think, in my opinion. How much is a video editor usually paid in the United States? That's a great question, Zeno. So I would not think of it as how much is an editor usually paid. I would say how many hours are they spending on the task, and how much are you going to pay them per hour? Because let's say this is being extremely lowballing it, right? But hypothetically, I would say just editing the video, so not counting scripting, recording the footage or anything, just sitting down and editing a video from start to finish, not even making the thumbnail, just editing the video, that's probably at bare minimum, I'm gonna be as low as I can get, probably 6 hours. 6 to 10 hours of work, I would say, is like really low. A lot of my videos probably fall closer into the 10 to 15 hour range, but I would say 6 to 10 hours start to finish. Maybe it goes a little quicker than that depending on the type of video, but like with all my style of editing, all like the call outs, the sound effects, the, you know, this, that, whatever, all those kinds of things. So if you're paying someone, like let's throw out a number, right? If you pay them, I'll break out the calculator. If you pay someone, let's say $300 to edit a video, sounds like a decent chunk of change, right? It's not bad, especially depending on your circumstances. That's good. But if they're spending, let's say, even just 6 hours on the video, no, because like that's not even realistic. If you're paying them $300, it's probably going to be a pretty well produced video. They spend 10 hours on the video. That's $30 an hour. Okay, I'm not proving my point very well because I think 300 is too big of a number. 300 is pretty good. Let me put it in perspective because I think that's important. If like one of my videos right now, I'm going to pull up my analytics. I'm not going to screen share it because I don't actually know the rules on that. But I'm just going to tell you guys, looking at my videos, my last November Beyblade meta roundup. So not the one I just put out, but the one a month before that. Those videos are by far the most successful videos I make. The monthly meta roundups, right? That video, from a revenue perspective, made so far, because obviously every time it gets viewed, it gets more money, blah, blah. So far, the total amount of dollars that video has made is about $65, which is great. I love that. You know, again, for a hobby, making money from a hobby, that's great. But if you take how long I spent on that video, which is probably about like, and I'm only counting the editing, not the analysis, not the data tool stuff, just the editing. Probably I would say like, I think it's realistically close to 15 hours. I'll say like 12 hours. You take $65 and divide it by 12. That is $5.42 an hour. It is not fair to pay an editor, in my mind, $5.42 an hour if you can get away with it. I don't want to pay that. I don't know. It's a hard conversation to have because there's so many different variables, like of what one person's values are. How is $100 to one person different than $100 to another person? I don't know. A lot goes into it, but the whole point is that I wish I could make more videos for you guys. I only am one person. I only have so much time on my hands, and I want to do really good videos. So if it comes to a point where I'm not putting out a video every week, just know that it's not for a lack of trying. Anyways, I'll get off my soapbox. Sorry about all that. Why would you not run Vortex? I don't remember what combo you were talking about. I'm sorry, by the way. Excuse me. I'm coughing because I yap too much. I love videos and make keep up the good work. Thank you for watching, dude. Brand1112. Anything Scorpio Spear 760 Unite bits have issues with their production, but if it works, that's awesome. And it sounds like it does if it's your ace combo. Once you get used to editing a certain way, you develop a faster workflow. That's true. That's true. Aromantic perfume. Why? What are you saying, bro? Read, bro. Chill. I don't know who you are by name, at least. Are you gonna be at? I'm gonna be at the comp, and do you remember me? I don't know who you are, but if you meet me in person, I will gladly say hello and high five you and whatever. But just chill out a little bit with the bro reads. I used to be a video editor, but since I'm not from the United States, the pay was like $50 per video. Yeah, still worked for me because of my country's economy. Yeah, that's valid. Again, it's all about circumstance, right? The moment something you love becomes a job, it loses its spark. 100%. And I am doing everything I can to avoid that because I don't want this to feel like a job. It already starts to feel like that some days, but that's entirely self-induced because I feel like the tool that I made, like I've made a couple of tools for the community at this point. I feel like it's now super useful for the community. So like the first of the month is always extremely stressful for me because it's like a bum rush to just get the data output and cleaned and quality checked as soon as possible so people have it available. Yeah, I'm trying not to make it feel like a job, and it doesn't always. Hover Wyvern 160 Hexa any good, or is Kick better? I think that's valid. I would use Kick over Hexa, but I think that's both of those combos are valid. Roman Fitness. What combos should I use for Sunday? Only CX bays. Heavy. The wave. I'm using heavy Emperor lock chip, 960 low rush. I'm assuming you meant might? You said Pegasus Blast wheel 970 taper, and then you said Emperor something heavy 960 low rush. I don't know what your main blade is for that combo. I would try though Soul Eclipse. I would try Soul Eclipse Rounder Jaggy 960 taper, and then I would put 970, yeah, 970 on your Pegasus Blast. And then maybe like, I don't know, I don't know if you have the Valkyrie lock chip, probably not because that thing's really hard to get, but Drawn Brave, if you want to go all CX with 360, it's not bad. Yeah, I'm scrolling a little bit, Andy, but I'm also just like very easily distracted, so don't worry about it. Impact Drake 460 point. You have the new mold of Night Shield. I don't think I have the new mold of Night Shield. Cobalt Dragoon 960 under flat jumped out the window. I know you're probably not actually serious, but I like to think that your Cobalt Dragoon actually did jump out your window. Literally. What are your thoughts on Wizard Rod Op? I talked about it a little bit earlier. I think it's kind of gimmicky. I think people will probably find success with it, but I think the operate bit is designed in a way where it gets easier to burst the more you use it. So I would not expect it to be like anything more than a fringe pick. I don't think it's, I'm not going to say it's bad, but I don't think it's like the next big thing, you know? It did jump out the window. That's crazy. I actually love that. Arc Dual U060 Orb. That's super interesting. Oh, okay. So that blade... I see what you mean. Yeah. Okay. Do you think Shark's performance changes when it gets rounder and smoother after many uses? And do you perhaps change it to a more smash attacker? I think that's really smart thinking. I don't have an answer for you. Because I only have one Shark. I've only ever had one Shark. I would need a brand new Shark to physically compare it to next to it. And then do some testing on the performance between the two. I think there could be something there with the doling of the edges, particularly with how well it escapes from pockets we talked about earlier, and maybe how well it recoils as well. Because if it's a smoother sort of point on the blade, the interaction might be different. I don't know though. I don't know. Excuse me. All right. All right. Well, this stream that was meant to be like balance tuning and stuff ended up just turning into me yapping a lot. So hopefully it was fun at least. Opinion on Tyrannobeat 960 Unite. I think Unite is not amazing because of the issue. It's basically taper. Excuse me, sorry. It's not amazing. It's just use taper if you want to use Unite, because Unite mold is weird. I also would maybe try Kick instead of Unite or taper. And then maybe like a 160 instead of 960. Luxury. What do you think of my deck? Also, how do I launch 060? Oh, you're which side for Eclipse and which side is you for dual, more time away, more attack way? What is your best Beyblade memory? Probably the first tournament that I won, because not only did I win, but I also went undefeated. And it was pretty early in my blading days. It's the one that's the video on my channel, the undefeated run. It was really good. That's probably my favorite memory. But also, like, the people that I've met, all the various people. It's not one memory, but I feel really good when I think about that. That's what these hobby type, like hobby shop type activities are why they're so amazing. Because you just meet so many people who have the same interests and like just become fast friends because of it. It's really cool. I love it. All right, y'all. I think it's about that time. I am very tired now. It's not even that late. It's 9 p.m. Oh my god, I'm such an unk. I'm just very tired because I get up very early for work these days. So I'm probably gonna call it here. But thank you all for hanging out, tuning into the stream, spending some time on your Friday evening with me. I hope you have great tournaments or great blading that happens this weekend. I unfortunately will not be blading this weekend because I'm going to be going out to lunch and I'm going to see the Jujutsu Kaisen movie, which I'm really excited about. But I will be doing more balance tuning at home, and I will be doing more combo testing. Yeah, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Like this video if you like it. I'm just used to saying that kind of stuff. But thanks so much for watching, y'all. And I will catch you in the next one, either next video or the next stream. So thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye bye.